And hi again, everyone. TJ All's I-45 now. Waiting on our first day of election results to come in both Harris County and Galveston County. Those have not come in as of yet. There are 19 polling locations in Galveston County. We were told 3,080 people had voted right before the polls closed. I mean, we're talking about, we got that update 1 minute before the polls closed, and that was pretty much going to be accurate. Total of 7,194 voted early in Galveston County. So the early vote is going to probably dictate most of that. On the closer races, we'll see how they go. Let's go ahead and go over the numbers we do have. Those of you weren't able to join us at about 7:20 when we gave you your first results here. We'll start off with the big one. This is College of the Mainland's $250 million bond referendum. Right now, this is early returns only. 2,100 for it and 1,978 against. That one is close. We'll see how the day of voting goes with that one. Also with College of the Mainland, it's trustee position 5. The incumbent there is Melissa Skipworth, and she has 603 votes to Robin Tyra's 513 votes in that race. Mostly Dickinson, the community of Dickinson. There is a part of Santa Fe, but it's Dickinson ISD. That's in, but for the most part, as I said, Skipworth 603 votes to Robin Tyra's 513. Again, these are just early returns coming in so far. The trustee position 7, this one, Don Gartman. This is the at-large position, so that means the entire College of the Mainland district votes in this election here. Don Gartman, the incumbent, he won 6 years ago. And is up again now 6 years later. These are 6-year terms, by the way. Don Gartman with 1,266 votes. That leads Keith Henry slightly by about 30 votes, who has 1,236. And the newcomer, Elias Ramirez, the 20-year-old college student who has been working the ground there and getting a lot of student support, 1,069. So what this is showing right now is that no one's going to get over 50% if it continues on this pace. So it'll be the top 2 vote getters go to a runoff. Right now, that looks like Keith Henry, former Texas City Commissioner, who dropped out from resigned from his office in Texas City so he could run for state rep last year on the Democratic ticket and did not win there. But again, that race there, Don Gartman, 1,266 votes, leading the way by about 30, exactly 30 votes over Keith Henry. So we'll be checking that here as well. Highly contested race in Dickinson. This one has been nasty many times along there, with accusations flying back and forth and just downright ugly at times. Sean Skipworth, the incumbent mayor, 722 votes to Kevin Edmonds, 648. You may remember Skipworth won. It was 2 tie votes in a row against Jennifer Lawrence, and they had a ping pong draw. That determined the winner. And so in this case, Skipworth tied with Jennifer Lawrence 2 times in a row, even after a recount. And they went ahead and drew after the second time around. And when they were still tied, it was just odd, not seeing that in a while. So a ping pong ball went to that one. Don't think we'll be seeing that tonight, obviously. Here, because it's not as crowded of a field, but and also we're not going to see really that much of a difference. We're going to see a difference of the vote one way or another. But again, you got to keep track. That's one of the busier areas in Galveston County. We had 7,194 people countywide in Galveston County vote early, 3,080 total today. That's going to be in those contested races then. Position 1 in Dickinson, that's the incumbent Johnnie Simpson Jr. against Nita, Clements, and Simpson easily ahead in that one with 702 votes to Clements's 612 vote. Here's one. We're going to get ready to call this one pretty early here. Mark Townsend, former Dickinson City Council member, volunteer firefighter. He's run several times since for different positions. And has not gotten back on council, but it looks like he has a really good shot at this time. Collin Coker, businessman, and on the Economic Development Corporation there. But Townsend at 795 votes, Collins 488 votes. And we'll go through. Bill Schick leading the way for council position number 5 over retired firefighter Juan Ovalle. And in this case, Bill Schick, 807 votes. I pointed out Bill's right now the president of the EDC. Also should point out, though, he's a big part, along with that Dickinson Bayou group that's really pushing for the development of Dickinson Bayou, not only just for house fronts, for a commercial area as well. Let's go down to the city of Galveston now. Prop A, this is the extension of the half-cent sales tax. That one's easily passing, so that will pass tonight. This is a tax that's already paid mostly by visitors, quite frankly. It's because it's sales tax. It's a half cent of that goes into the coffers for the city there. They actually didn't have to vote on the extension until later, but decided to do it now. Let's go into Galveston City Council District 2. This is a special election to fill the unexpired term. So William Schuster was the councilman in this position, moved out of that district, and as such, vacated his seat. He still lives on the island, but vacated his seat. He's also out there. So he's got a new career too. He was a Ball High history teacher, and now is in the home construction business. A big change there, but he's getting into that. Just saw him the other day, so he had to vacate his seat. And so what we're looking at here is the two gentlemen who want to try to replace him here. David Finklea leading the way with 135 votes. Paul Morgan with 54 votes. That's going to be a low cut because, again, single member districts are in Galveston, by the way, just so folks understand that. It's not a citywide election there. What is a citywide election is what's happening in Friendswood. This is for position 5, Joe Matranga versus Adam Hill. And right now, as you see, Matranga 755 votes, Adam Hill 704 votes. This is, by the way, Galveston County and Harris County numbers added together. So you know that's the actual count. Again, these are just early returns that we have in this election so far. Let's get to Lamarck Council District B. Again, this is a single member district. Joe Compion, the incumbent, 55 votes. Justin McDonald with 49 votes in that race there. So Joe Compion's going to still, it's, when you only got 6 votes separating you, we're going to keep watching that one throughout the night. Then we've got the open seat, District D, Cassandra Lafferty with 28 votes. James Ross, 53 votes there. Again, so this, no matter what happens here, we're going to have a new council member in Lamarck, but in this case, you have James Ross against Cassandra Lafferty in that race. Let's go now up into the Harris County area. This is Nassau Bay. Again, these are, looking at these numbers, these are Harris County early returns only. Nassau Bay position 1, Michelle Michelli. This is her second time to run for council in Nassau Bay. Paula Tomasi, former Clear Creek school board member. She has 268 votes to Michelle Michelli's 92 votes in that race. So we pretty comfortably can say Paula Tomasi is going to win in that race. And then you get into what has been the more hotly contested race in the Nassau Bay City Council race there. But early returns has former prosecutor Sarah Horton with a handily leading 276 votes to Michelle Barecky, 92 votes for her in that case. We'll still watch the day of returns, which we should have from Harris County, we hope pretty soon. But at this point, Sarah Horton, who has been hitting the streets and having lemonade meet and greets on the curb and the like, doing well there. She's also participated in our forum that we had, was well watched, and Miss Barecky turned us down for that forum, or actually never responded. Let's go District 2, Clear Creek ISD. Now this has part Galveston County and part Harris County for District 2, and it's an open seat. Jameson McKee at 227 votes, Glenn Cora Rogers 163 votes there. Jameson works for Gulf Coast Educators Credit Union, and so they're heavily involved, obviously, with education. Glenn Cora Rogers herself, a former teacher, went on, got into administration, and she, and even when she said she stepped down 3 years ago from that, she's involved with the PTA and the like as well. Saw both her and Jameson today. Their race has been, where we've talked about some dirty races. Let's commend these two on a really good race. The two of them like to discuss issues. They get along well as well. There's not the firebrand you see a lot of times. So that one there going on, but Jameson leading the way in this one. Now, this one here for Clear Creek ISD is District 3. This is all on Harris County side, so the Clear Lake district for that. The incumbent, Gerardo Sanchez, he's a top administrator at Johnson Space Center, 1,258 votes to Peter Lazon's 796 votes in that. The Dickinson ISD bond referendum, easily passing there, 1,223 votes for it and 678 against it there. That's Dickinson ISD bond. That one there is essentially they pass it, they go refinance, and they keep the tax rate within check. So not adding a tax rate increase doesn't mean that people are not going to pay extra taxes, but that's it there. Galveston County WCID 1. This is the water district in Dickinson. They also have a pretty big bond referendum up to fix the infrastructure there. WCID number 1, 871 votes supporting it, and against it 507. Also a bond referendum, Galveston County MUD 12, 115 to 55. And in that MUD 12, that's the Bayou Vista area with that. So those are our returns so far. Again, the big ones here. We're going to keep watching. We're going to get a couple returns in on before we declare the College of the Mainland one, because just percentage wise, it's close, but this is looking pretty good for College of the Mainland supporters of the bond referendum there. This is to replace the Learning Resource Center, replace the library, a new student better building, a student classroom building as well. Also, where they're out of room in their first responders training area, that's police and fire, where they're just bursting at the seams, have stuff happening in the hallway instead of in labs. They're going to build, if this passes, build a new building and then take the current building they have and repurpose it for facilities on there. So it's not like they're tearing down a newer building. The trustee election there, Melissa Skipworth right now, early returns only, leading the way with 513 votes. For Robert Tyra, Melissa Skipworth with 603. And then the at-large position here looks that it gets headed to a runoff. Keith Henry and Don Gartman right now leading the way, 1,266 votes to Keith Henry's 1,236, exactly 30 votes separating them right now. But it's a matter of who's going to come in second here. And Elias Ramirez, first time running for office, a 20-year-old college student. In fact, he just got his high school diploma this past year and is at College of the Mainland now, plans to go to the University of Houston Clear Lake afterwards. But Ramirez, for a newcomer and being as young as he is making a mark there. Let's get back again, the city of Dickinson, the mayoral race there. This has been just outright dirty. Let's just admit it, folks. Both sides just going at each other, making accusations, and folks hiring consultants to come in and run hit pieces. It is just been downright ugly. And so Sean Skipworth, the incumbent here, 722 votes. Kevin Edmonds, 648. We're going to stay watching that one a little bit, even though the early returns are going to probably dominate. But this one had a larger turnout on election day than the other polling locations did. So we're going to be watching that. Position 1 in council for the city of Dickinson. That's Johnnie Simpson Jr. He is the incumbent, 702 votes. Nita Clements with 612 votes. Mark Townsend handily ahead in the council position 3. Townsend is a former councilman, was on council for many years. He's run for mayor a couple of times since then, and unsuccessful, but he's leading Collin Coker by 795 to 488 votes. And then another one we can go ahead probably call, when next time we'll come around, we'll probably be calling those Bill Schick, dominating in the race for position 5. He's already pledged to, he's right now the president of the EDC board. He said if he wins this, he'll step down from the EDC board, obviously. How those appointments work. Galveston, let's get down there. Half-cent sales tax extension, 645 to 148. This is a tax that's already in place. It's paid on sales tax. Mostly visitors pay this one. So that's why that's not been real controversial there. Now, the Galveston City Council District 2, as I told you earlier, William Schuster, who held that position, he moved somewhere else in the island and out of the district, and so vacated his seat. And when that happened, the special election was called. David Finklea, 135 votes to Paul Morgan Jr.'s 54 votes. Against these are just early returns, but not a heavy turnout in voting in Galveston. These returns are going to be here, Galveston County and Harris County combined Joe Matranga, 755 votes, to Adam Hills, 704 votes. This is Friendswood City Council position 5. The other council position is unopposed in that race. And then Lamarck, we were telling you about Joe Compion with 55 votes at Justin McDonald. That's a 6-vote separation. So we'll be watching that one throughout the night as well, but probably not going to have to watch this one as close. James Ross with 53 votes over Cassandra Lafferty with 28 votes. That's District D, Lamarck Council on that. And then another race, this can be Harris County only because this is over in Nassau Bay and Fairborn. As I say, I'm a Nassau Bay resident, in fact. So Michelle Michelli with 92 votes, Paula Tomasi, the former Clear Creek ISD school board member, with 268 votes in that race. And then the position 5 race, which is hotly contested here, Michelle Barecky and Sarah Horton. I say hotly contested. It's just been very verbal by both sides, including a last minute, unidentified flyer hung on people's doors yesterday. But Sarah Horton, 276 votes to Michelle Barecky's 92 votes in that. And Clear Creek ISD Trustee District 2. This has Galveston County and Harris County numbers combined for that. Jamison McKee at 227 votes. Glencore Rogers, 163 votes. Saw both of them today, again, commending them. Really clean election. They just like to talk about the issues. Both of them did. And that was a good one. And no knock on the other race that was going on between Peter and Arturo here, District 3. You didn't hear them go at each other. There were some folks on the outside that would say some stuff, but anyway, that's not been a bad one there as well. Arturo Sanchez, 1,258 votes. This is all on the Harris County side for this district. Arturo Sanchez is a top administrator at the Johnson Space Center. Peter Lazon, an engineer, 796 votes in that one there. And the Dickinson ISD bond, as I said, 100. It's passing easily there. We can go ahead and actually probably call it for them. And then also in the Dickinson area, the water board's proposition won 871 votes to 507 votes. They got a lot of infrastructure issues they got to deal with there. Now, earlier, we had a request from a viewer to see if we could follow the Pasadena ISD trustee election. And that's all Harris County. So that's while only a small sliver of Pasadena actually shows up in our coverage area, we thought we'd go ahead and bring that up for you. So let me bring that up now. This is trustee position 5. This is early returns only. That's all we've got out of Harris County so far. Kenny Fernandez with 66% of the vote there. Then you got position 6 in Pasadena ISD and Marshall Kendrick with 54% of the vote to Andy Garcia's 45% of the vote. And then position 7, you have here Vicky Morgan, 57% of the vote. This is a 3-way race. And then Irene Tamayo at 37% and Jeff Snover at 5%. And to tell you the truth, I haven't confirmed if Pasadena ISD is a plurality vote or a majority vote. I'm pretty certain it's a plurality vote in that most school districts are. So Vicky Morgan, no matter what, will be able to hold on if she holds on to that lead along the way. So that's the request of the Pasadena ISD folks letting us know. And we got a request for Tiki Island here as well. We'll go. Let me go through those again. I have a lot of those down. You see it in on our text portion of things, but we can go and get Tiki Island numbers. Now I can tell you that Goldie, the mayor, on his way to re-election. That one's pretty easy. Goldie's popular guy there in Tiki Island. I'll scroll down and bring them up as well. And that was a request from our viewer, Sherry Daughtry. And I guess, hey, Sherry, I guess I have to call you a former Tiki Island resident. Is that how it works? So they moved to be closer. No, you're still there. It's her brother-in-law that moved. I'm sorry, Sherry. I shouldn't say that. I got that confused there. But Sherry, obviously, a Tiki Island resident, a longtime friend of mine. And by the way, their daughter, a former coworker of mine, had 2 wonderful kids. Yes, I know, Sherry. I corrected myself. She's talking to me through chat on this. I had it wrong there. So let's go ahead and get to Tiki Island. I know Goldie was leading the way because I was taking a look at the numbers. If you look at the text portion of our video there, it will be able to tell you. So let me get down to Tiki Island because and I'm sorry, I'm scrolling through it to get to it fast. That unfortunately, Galveston doesn't have the system. They can set it up, they just haven't done so yet. As Harris County has, where I can get to certain races automatically. So I'm going to bring up just what I wrote up by hand early when I was writing down the results, because as I said, Goldie Tishnik, who's the mayor there, was leading the way. 112 votes for Goldie over Graham George, who has 34. And then Patricia Walker and Alan Clear are both going to win. Only the top 2 vote getters in that alderman's race go on to be alderman, and only 2 people ran. But this is about who got the most votes. I guess Alan Scott Clear has 107 votes there. Patricia Walker, 94 votes. But as I said, both of them are going to be elected there. So the only contested race is Vernon Tilchik, and Goldie is what he goes by, the mayor there, 112, longtime mayor in Tiki Island. So that's where our results stand throughout the night. We will try to update as we can for you as well. I'm kind of stalling here a little bit. I want to see if we've got new results from Galveston County. And yes, we have the second results in. So let's go ahead and this is what we call our second night results. I want to zoom these up a little bit. This means we've got some election day votes in as well on this. So that gives us a good handle of what we're going to see here. I'm going to switch over to that now. So you're going to be seeing these at the same time that I do, by the way. So that you let me make sure we get this one correct. Yeah, this is going to be our first. This is going to be our first election day results out of Galveston County. So that's what's going to come up, and we're going to go in the order that we have them here. All right, so let's get the screen a little bit larger so everybody can see it better. And sorry, it's not one to cooperate with me much here tonight. There we go. And hopefully you can see that on your screen better than I have here. I'll try to, let me enlarge it one more time. I want to try to keep the names on there at the same time, but it does prove tough to do that sometimes when we are trying to keep them all up there. So, okay. College of the Mainland. This is going to be Robin Tyra versus Melissa Skipworth. Skipworth, the incumbent. So you can see right there, election day, only 10 of the election day votes counted within that district. So right now, Skipworth still holds on to a lead, 608 votes to Tyra's 518. Then we have the at-large positions here. That top vote number, that's going to be Don Gartman, who got 22 extra votes today on election day. So he's at 1,288 votes. Keith Henry's 1,256 votes. And another 17 votes for Elias Ramirez. He's at 1,086 votes there. But again, this is about who makes the runoff at this one. Now, we'll go down also in... This is going to be on College of the Mainland. This is going to be the Proposition A. This is the bond referendum, $250 million. And the narrow on the election day is about how many people voted for it against, but still 3 more people voted on election day so far for it than against it. So right now, the percentage is 51%, but it's 2,144 votes for the bond proposition at College of the Mainland, and 2015 against it here. This one's going to be tight now. It's going to tighten up throughout the night for us to be taking a look at here. Then we are going to go down here and take a look at the next one up. This is going to be Clear Lake Shores Prop A that they're doing there, 75 to 49, and I'm going to shrink this up. Hopefully you can see on the screen and just follow along with me. I'm going to update it on our deals. It's just a little bit harder for me to control it here if I can't get the screen just centered right for you here. All right, Dickinson ISD Prop A, overwhelmingly passing. I think we can call this one. in favor of Dickinson ISD. Bond Proposition A passing with 1,239 votes to 679 votes against it there. And Dickinson mayor right now, Sean Skipworth, still holding on to a lead with only 2 election day votes counted so far. So that's going to be, that polling location is going to be someone. Galveston County has a countywide voting system, so you can vote at any of the election polling systems of voting centers in Galveston County. That tells me right here, where there's only 1 vote from each, that's going to be like on the island, and it's already gotten in and been counted. So that's people who live in Dickinson but voted on the island there, because it's only 2 votes. So we have not seen the results come in from the Dickinson Community Center on that one. And thus, likewise here, Nita Clements picked up an extra vote, but still trailing Johnnie Simpson, 702 to 613 votes. Mark Townsend, this one is pretty much over. Let's go ahead and call this one for Mark Townsend. He'll win election to position 3, 796 votes to Collin Coker's 488 votes. Just not enough. There's not going to be enough votes on election day there to help out. I could stand corrected. I doubt it. Bill Schick still dominating. We can call that one as well. Position 5 there over Juan Ovalle in that one. District 2 in Galveston City Council, David Finklea actually extended his lead a little bit, 171 votes to 83 votes. So it's 67% of the vote here, because this is going to be an island box in on this one. So we can go ahead and call David Finklea the winner of that. Prop A, this is the sales tax in Galveston, easily passing to extend that one. That will win. That will go down. This, by the way, Sally Branson, she's the unopposed candidate in Friendswood, was going to be elected no matter what happened. Obviously, this is just the Galveston County votes, but that's where that stands there. Joe Matranga and Adam Hill, the no election day results in for that. So that's changed. That has not changed. Joe Matranga leading the way. Jamaica Beach, I told you about. Sharon Bauer, there's no election day results in from Jamaica Beach yet. City of Kemah, Robin Collins, I said, unopposed in the race for mayor. So she's going to be elected mayor. She's a longtime city council member there. No election day results in from Kemah. And position 2, Darren Brodas. Now he was put on, appointed to the position before. Now he's actually won an election there now for a full term, 128 votes so far from him, but he's unopposed. Sheila Thorne, the retired Marine, against Justin Staten, retired police officer, K-9 officer, as well, 101 to 85 there Justin on his way to a victory in that race as well. City Lamarck, Joe Campion, there's only been a total of 4 votes that come in here, but now, as we said, it's closer, because it went from 6 votes now to just 4, separating the two, because on election day, and again, this is not going to be a Lamarck polling location, but I can tell you Justin McDonald picked up 3 votes to Joe Campion's 1, and now 4 votes separate the 2 of them on who will be the council member for District B there. So the incumbent, Joe Campion, is seriously in trouble if we see that trend continue for McDonald as numbers come in. Ross is still leading Lafferty in Lamarck Council District D there. Now, Lamarck's also got 11 charter amendments on the ballot. We didn't list them all out on our lower thirds here, but I will go through these for you now so that you can understand what each means here. This is changing the charter in in Lamarck. Now, Prop A, the Amendment A, I should say, that is a definition. It's providing a clear definition for what is a for-cause termination to decide on a city manager. So if they fire the city manager, the for-cause definition has to be in there about how the payments would do. That came up when essentially the last city manager in Lamarck, before Caesar became the city manager there, just convinced everybody to resign, and because he said he was going to be fired. So this is one of the things we wanted to clear up the language on that one. So 323 people voting for that, 172 against that. Now, Amendment B that's proposed, this is establishment for temporary divisions or departments upon approval of city council. This is like creating divisions within certain departments. And that one is passing there, 273. But if you look at election day votes, people are kind of split. They don't know which way they want to go with that. Amendment C is to allow a member of city council whose recall is sought by petition the opportunity to respond in writing. Now, that one is passing, but it's an unusual request because usually you want recall is if folks want to recall you, they put it out. What this would do if it passed was allow that person who's up against recall to submit some type of response in writing. And it's an oddity in that question there because recalls, Lamarck's had a lot of them over the years, by the way. On those is that the folks facing the recall have an opportunity in an open council meeting to make their argument for a public statement if they want to submit it to council. And there, I think this is about making a more formal process of submitting it in writing as part of what's considered. But that's just an oddity there. Amendment D would be a requirement for a public hearing for officials subject to a recall election. Again, the law already provides for this to become something in state law already. There has to be a public meeting of whether or not to accept the results. Any discussion on that can be held in public there, but it is passing well there. So they may just be trying to clean up some stuff on the process after this last recall election. But I should point out the recall election failed. It was against the mayor. Now, this is a more interesting one here. And this one is somewhat close, not a whole lot, but you can see this is Amendment E. Now, what Amendment E is saying, it creates the waiting period for filing a recall petition against a member of city council after he or she takes office. So essentially what this is saying is do not, that if someone's in office, they got to be in office for a while before there's a recall effort. And this was some complaints. Keith Bell just gotten elected mayor. Then soon after, there was a recall effort launched. And this is trying to respond to that last one. So and stay in office a little bit longer before you're subject to a recall. But he can go too long with that too. And it also takes, this, and as I said, it's passing, but it's also the argument against that from some people is that what you've done is say something's come up after the election or someone who was still able to win the election, but really there's some scandalous stuff and they want to remove that person from office to be able to do so through a recall. So that one may, even if it passes, have some trouble passing muster on the state constitutional level. I haven't looked into it myself, but it's something interesting. Amendment 4 it's called amending the charter to modernize language related to finances. There was a whole lot with the charter in Lamarck that's outdated in how its finances are done. That in part led to the problems they had with the tax rollback that was successful to that. And there's been some on council says it's because of confusion of what the charter required. But it's a recall nonetheless, despite that. And it doesn't change the vote at all. Capping of emergency expenditures here. This is, putting in how much in emergency expenditures can go out. That's passing. Amendment H on this is update the years in the budget process. Right now, it's like a 1 year thing. Now it's, about, hey, let's get into a 2 year. And Joe Compion talked about he wanted a 5 year one. And then Amendment I is increase the time period the city may issue indebtedness or issue debt. So if you have take an issue and put it to the voters, they want to put a timeline on that in the charter, and that's passing as well. But only, I'm sorry, it's not passing. It's losing by one vote. By the way, 240 to 239. It gained some ground on election day returns. Amendment J, that is to require that the municipal court judge, the alternate municipal court judge, city prosecutor, and city attorney be appointed by the city council. By the way, that's common practice in most municipalities there, but they wanted to clarify that in the charter, and that's trailing here right now. Amendment K here. This is to provide gender neutral wording in ordinances and the like. It's going down 286 to 200 there. It doesn't look like it's going to pass at all. So that's our latest updates. We're going to go back and check. Those are some of the election day results that have come in from Galveston County. We'll be catching up on things that are happening in the Harris County side of the races as well, to see if we get those. And we're hoping we'll have some results. We'll have final results no later than 9:30. We will pass that along when we get it. I'm TJ Hall. It's I-45 now.